Welcome to Animeconomy. What if you could see the hidden forces that shape our entire world? I'm talking about the invisible currents of cause and effect that guide our lives, our struggles, even our future. What if you had the power to see not just what's right in front of you, but the world that could have been? Well, today we're going to unlock that power together. We are surrounded, absolutely surrounded by economic ideas that aren't, well, they're really just half-truths. And they're so convincing, right? Because they focus only on what's super easy to see, the immediate effect of some new policy on one specific group of people. But that's kind of like watching an epic battle, but only focusing on a single soldier. It's a dangerously incomplete picture. But this is where Henry Hazlitt's legendary book comes in. It gives us one single lesson, just one, that acts like a powerful lens, allowing us to see the entire battlefield. It's all about looking beyond the here and now to see the long term. It's about tracing the consequences for everybody, not just for one lucky group. So this right here, this is our new superpower. On one hand, you have the seen. That's the obvious stuff, right? The brand new jobs on a government project or the money a business gets from a subsidy. But then there's the unseen. And that's everything we sacrifice to get the seen. It's the private jobs that were never created, the products that were never made. It's the future that was lost. And mastering this, well, that's the key to everything. All right, so with this new power, this new way of seeing, let's face our first great enemy. It's called the fallacy of destruction. And let me tell you, it's this incredibly seductive idea that breaking things, that destruction itself, can actually be good for the economy. It all starts with a simple story. Imagine a little punk throws a rock and breaks a baker's window. A crowd gathers, and they try to find a silver lining. Hey, they say, at least the glazier gets some business. And that is the scene. They watch as the baker pays the glazier, and they imagine that glazier spending the money elsewhere, creating a ripple of prosperity. But what about the unseen? What don't they see? Well, the baker was saving that money to buy a new suit. Now that cash is gone. The tailor's job? Poof, it never happens. So you see, no new job was created. The work was just diverted from the tailor to the glazier. The town isn't any richer. In fact, it's poorer by one window and poorer by one suit that was never made. And this simple little idea, it can grow into an absolute monster. I mean, think about it. After a devastating war, you'll hear people talking about the need to rebuild entire cities, even calling it a miracle of production. But as Hazlitt puts it so perfectly, this is just our old friend, the broken window fallacy, but it's grown fat beyond recognition. Okay, so here's the crucial point, the thing you have to get. This whole fallacy confuses need with demand. They are not the same thing. A destroyed city creates a ton of need, for sure. But need is not demand. Real economic demand requires purchasing power, cold, hard cash. And destruction, well, it wipes that out. It's pretty simple, really. You can't spend money you don't have to rebuild something you just lost. And you know what? This same kind of flawed thinking leads us right into our next major challenge. It's that ancient, nagging fear that technology, the very stuff we create, is somehow destined to destroy us by taking away all our jobs. I mean, it's the question that's haunted us for centuries, right? If a new machine can do the work of 100 people, what on earth happens to those 100 people? It feels like an obvious catastrophe in the making. But once again, that's only because we're looking at the scene. But if we look at history, it tells a completely different story. Let's go back to the late 1700s. New cotton spinning machines were invented, and people were so scared they violently opposed them. But what happened? Within just 30 years, employment in that industry exploded by over 4,000%. The same thing happened with stocking knitting machines. The fear was absolutely real, but the outcome? It proved that fear was completely wrong. Okay, let's take a more modern example, the automobile. Before the car, that industry just didn't exist. But as technology made cars better and cheaper, it did more than just replace a few carriage makers. It created hundreds of thousands of brand new jobs that nobody could have even imagined before. So, let's look at the unseen process here. When a machine saves a company money, that money doesn't just disappear into thin air. It has to go somewhere. It's either reinvested to expand the business and hire more people, or competition forces the company to lower its prices. And when prices fall, what happens? We, the customers, have more money left over to spend on other things. And that is what creates jobs in completely new industries. So you see, progress doesn't destroy jobs, it transforms them. Hey, just taking a quick pause here. If this is helping you see the world a little differently, helping you see the unseen, maybe take a moment to like this explainer and share it. You never know, it might help someone else gain this same perspective, to see our world with just a little more clarity. All right, for our final trial, we're going up against maybe the most common fallacy of them all. It's the belief in let's call it the magic of government spending. So let's imagine the government announces it's going to spend $1 million to build a bridge. And the reason? To create jobs, of course. And what do we see? We see a beautiful new bridge going up. We see workers on the job site earning a paycheck. It's tangible. It's right there in front of us. This is the scene. And boy, is it convincing. It looks like a clear, undeniable win for everybody. But hold on. Now that we have our new lens, we have to ask the critical questions. Where did that $1 million actually come from? It wasn't just magicked into existence. And what would have happened to that money if it had been left where it was? And this is the unseen cost. That $1 million, it was taken from taxpayers, which means for every single public job created on that bridge, a private job somewhere else was destroyed. That money would have been used by regular people like you and me to build homes or buy cars or expand our own businesses. We see the bridge, sure, but we will never see the things that were never created because that money was taken away first. So, we've faced the fallacies. We've battled the monsters of bad economic thinking. And now, I think the true meaning of this power starts to become clear. This was never just about economics, was it? It's a philosophy. It's a whole new way to think. This one lesson, looking not just at the immediate effects, but the long-term, total effects of any action. It's about so much more than money. It's about truly seeing the full consequences of our choices, both for ourselves and for everyone around us. And this isn't a political thing. It's not about left versus right. It's just a fundamental tool for clear thinking. It's about taking responsibility for the ripples our actions create, and maybe demanding that our leaders do the same. It's about building a future that's based on reality, not just on what feels good or looks good in the short term. So I'll leave you with this question. You have the lens now. You have the power to see the unseen. So what are you going to start looking for in your own life, in your community, in the world? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Animeconomy and check the link in the description to get the book.